All right, it's Wednesday, 25th of February. So let's see what's in today's news. I'm on the BBC website. Common Speaker passed Mandelson flight risk information to police ahead of arrest. Whatever happened to snitches get stitches? So Mandelson got arrested, as we know. So who snitched on him then? Common Speaker Sir Lindsay Hoyle has confirmed that he passed information on to police suggesting Lord Mandelson could be a flight risk, but he acted in good faith. Yeah. So is that such a bad thing? I mean, if he had it, if he didn't think so, if he didn't think that the guy was going to was going to leg it out of the country and escape his comeuppance, then that would have been worse, wouldn't it? Because it could have come out in the future that Mandelson did escape from the country and avoid any court or police inquiries or whatever that was going to take place, and then he just pissed off. But then it would have been worse if the common speaker had said, I thought he might actually. I did have a bit of evidence that he might do that, but I didn't think it was important." Because then he's going to be in the shit, didn't he? If they've learned anything from this, it's all these things will come back and haunt you. So he says it comes after the peer's lawyers complained about the force's decision to arrest him on Monday as part of its probe into misconduct into public office allegations. So Sir Lindsay told MPs he had passed on relevant information about the peer in good faith. But he said he's going to do an interview the next month. But see, in a normal sort of world, you'd think, well, okay, he's a politician, he's a lord. So if he said he's going to turn up at an interview next month, then he will, because he's an honest, upstanding guy. But we found out over the years that none of them are, and they're all a bunch of criminals and villains and rogues. So yeah, it's regrettable that this rapidly ended up in the media. It was bound to end up in the media, wasn't it? What else we got? Fact checking Trump's longest ever State of the Union address. What have they said? President Trump delivered his longest speech to Congress, lasting 1 hour 47 minutes, and told US lawmakers the country is winning again. The country's winning again, as he touted his administration's achievements. He also made claims about illegal immigration, as well as ending a series of wars around the world. Right, as he said. Their policies created the high prices. Our policies are rapidly ending them. Prices are still rising, but the rate of inflation has slowed down since Trump took office at the start of the year. Policies created are rapidly ending them. Well, so I suppose that's half true, is it? It was 2.4% in the 12 months of January 2026, down from 3% over President Biden's final year in office. So they're not rising as fast then, shall we say. Prices rose significantly during Biden's first 2 years in office, peaking at 9.1% in June 2022, following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, which contributed to inflation across the globule. So yeah, they haven't come down, they're just not increasing as fast. Well, that's an improvement then, isn't it? Surely. Yeah. What else? Gasoline is now below $2.30 a gallon in most states, and in some places $1.99 a gallon. Right. Is that true? As of 24th of February, the national average price for a gallon of gasoline or petrol in the US is $2.95, according to the Automobile Association. The only state we could find anywhere near $2.30 a gallon on the website is Oklahoma. Oklahoma, with an average price of $2.37 a gallon. That is the state with the lowest average price by the American Automobile Association. Donald Trump's speech, the website GasBuddy said drivers could buy gasoline at 4 stations out of an estimated 150,000 in the US. See, that's the Americans. You Americans moan about the price of gasoline, right? That it's say $2.30 a gallon. $2.30 a gallon. Well, over in the UK, it's about £6.50 a gallon. That's probably about $8, perhaps $8.50 a gallon. So yours is like a quarter of what we pay. We'd love to have the prices that you've got. More Americans are working today than any other time in the history of our country. That claim is correct, but there is additional context. More than 158 million people were employed as of January 2026, the highest figure on record. But the population is the biggest on record at more than 342 million. Well, okay, but statistics-wise, then you got to know how much the percentage is. What's the percentage of what it was, say, 5 years ago, of the population, and the percentage of the people employed? It's a percentage you need to know, isn't it? Percentage of people 16 or older employed was 59.8% in January this year, slightly down from the 60% when in January 2025 when Biden left office. The unemployment rate is actually slightly up under Trump, from 4.1% to 4.3%. So technically, then, that what he said is true. More Americans are working today than at any other time in the history of, yes, because there's more of them. So that is true. But the percentage, there's a less percentage of the population working. So that's just clever wording. That's politician wording. In 12 months, I secured commitments for more than $18 trillion pouring in from all over the globe. There's no publicly available evidence. I don't know why I can't speak today. Publicly available evidence to support a figure this big. A White House website tracks new investment in the US manufacturing technology and infrastructure since Trump returned to the White House. So that's probably true. In its latest total, updated overnight, is 9.7 trillion. Still a big figure, but much less than the president's claims. Oh yeah, it's half, is it? Just under half on top. Greg Auclair, a statistician at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, what is wrong with me today, told BBC Verify there's been an uptick in foreign investment in the US over the last year. Perhaps it has. Cheating is rampant in our elections. Now, do the BBC Verify think that's true or not? Trump returned to this familiar claim, as he appealed to lawmakers to pass stricter voter ID requirements to stop illegal aliens from voting. However, there is no evidence of rampant voter fraud in US elections. It does happen, but the data suggests it is rare. A total of 1,620 proven electoral fraud cases across the US have been recorded. In a database, the list runs from 1982. BBC Verified looked into claims of illegal immigrants voting in the build-up to the 2024 US election, and again, studies have suggested cases are rare. Well, what did he claim? Cheating is rampant in our elections. Well, what do you class as rampant then? I mean, to me, rampant is like, it's everywhere. There's loads of it. What they're saying is, it does happen, but it is still quite rare. In the past 9 months, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted into the United States. Oh, I wouldn't have thought that's true. That's a hell of a claim. If he was referring to migrants released from custody once they've crossed into the US, then this is correct. A Department of Homeland Security press release from earlier this month stated that for the 9th consecutive month, US Border Patrol released 0 illegal aliens into the United States. Several thousand illegal crossings each month, showing 6,070 apprehensions at the southwest border in January. But that's still a significant drop from the same period 2 years ago under former President Joe Biden. where 124,215 apprehensions were recorded in January. That's a massive drop from 124,000 to 6,000 crossing the border. Good Lord. And see, people talk about, yeah, let all the immigrants come in, illegal or not. Just let them all come in. It's the same in the UK. You still got these psychos that think that's a great idea because it doesn't affect them. They're not coming to their homes. They're just coming into the country. Um, it would be a different story if they said, yeah, okay, if you feel like that, you want to let them all in, we're going to let 10 in tomorrow, and some of them can come and live in your house. Guarantee they wouldn't put up with that. They say, oh, no, I know, I can't have them in my house. We want them in, but let them be somebody else's problem, not mine. In my first 10 months, I ended 8 wars. I didn't know there was 8 wars going on, but then that's me being ignorant. The White House lists the wars as ones between Israel and Hamas. Isn't that still sort of going on? Pakistan and India, that was brief. Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Thailand and Cambodia. Armenia and Azerbaijan. Egypt and Ethiopia. And Serbia and Kosovo. Were they wars? I mean, I know they were having conflicts and getting a bit upset with each other. I'm not convinced they were actual wars. Although Trump can claim credit for brokering the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, it's not correct to say he has ended 8 wars. A number of these wars had lasted just days, although they were a result of long-standing tension. But in one case, the war between Egypt and Ethiopia was a dispute over the building of a dam, and there was no actual fighting to end. See, you wouldn't call that a war, would you? They've had a bit of a scuffle, a bit of a falling out over a dam. Nobody got killed, shot at. There was no fighting. There's also been fighting between Rwanda and the Congo after the two sides signed a peace agreement in Washington. India also played down the US role, ending its brief conflict with Pakistan. All right, that'll do for today then. Thanks, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more. All the best. Have a good rest of your day.